Welcome back. Today we're talking about a controversy that has been bubbling online the last couple of days. That is that Bill Maher is fat phobic. He is online saying horrible, disgusting, untrue, fat phobic things. So today we're going to talk about it. All of the clips that we're going to talk about today can be found in full on Bill Maher's YouTube channel, which will be linked below. We're going to use them and talk about them today for commentary purposes. So let's get right into the first video, the one posted 2 days ago, entitled Fat Acceptance. Let's see what he's got to say.
Well, everybody should be allowed to let themselves go a couple of times a year. Like now. The dog days of summer, school's out, rules out, it's hot, vacation time. No one should have to diet on vacation. And the holidays. That's the other, okay, I'll let myself go time of year. And who can blame us? It's the end of the year. It's structured around feast days. No one should feel bad about opening up the pants after Thanksgiving dinner and doing that thing where you undo the top button and try to hold it together with just the belt. That's all fine. But not all year round.
Okay, so far I'm not seeing the issue. All he's saying is that people should pretty much live in balance. If we're going to have some times where we aren't caring as much about the food, aren't focused in on it, are eating more, things like that, eating more unhealthy things, that we should also have those moments where we are more focused on it and eating more healthily and eating a little bit lighter. Where's the issue so far? I guess it hasn't come up yet. We'll keep going.
There's a disturbing trend going on in America these days, rewriting science to fit ideology or just to fit what you want reality to be. We've gone from fat acceptance to fat celebration. That's new. That is new. To view letting yourself go as a point of pride? We used to at least try and be fit and healthy, and society praised those who succeeded. Now the term body positivity is used to mean I'm perfect the way I am because I'm me.
I gotta be honest, I struggle enough with this idea of fat acceptance. It is hard for me to look at other people, see what the problem is in their life that they're always complaining about, see what the causes of those problems are, and, not do anything about them at all. It's hard to accept someone else's downfall and accept that they're not trying to work on it at all. That's hard for other people to accept, much less celebrate. If you want me to accept your fatness, I will go ahead and try to do that, but I will not accept my own fatness, and I will not celebrate fatness within anyone. That's just not, I don't have it within me to celebrate bad habits that lead to bad outcomes. I think people who are asking for fat acceptance think that they're asking for something very reasonable, but that is not a reasonable ask at all, to accept someone's bad habits and celebrate them as though they're something good. In my opinion, body positivity should be reserved for people who have different bodily proportions, who have different hip to waist ratios, who have scars or prosthetics or other things about them that really need to just be accepted because there's nothing that you can do to change them a lot of the times. But it's been really hijacked by people who want to use it as a cover for their own bad habits and not take accountability for their own actions and their own self.
Healthy at any weight is an unchallenged lie that people tell themselves so they can go on eating whatever they want, which is fine. I've done many self-destructive things too, but no one pretended there was positivity in smoking. Fat activist Ted Kyle, founder of Conscious Health, says the media and public needs to stop catastrophizing obesity. Okay, A, they're not catastrophizing it, and B, they should be. Because it's a full-blown catastrophe. Poor diet is the leading cause of mortality in the United States. New York Times. Okay. Of course, we're talking about heart disease and cancer and diabetes, but also, as COVID has taught us, obesity is horrible for the immune system, which is why those numbers were off the charts during the pandemic. That's a catastrophe.
Now, this is the first thing that Bill says that I actually don't agree with, because to say that this idea that we hear over and over from body positive fat acceptance movement is that health at every size, and Bill says that that's unchallenged, and that's not true. That is very heavily challenged. It's challenged by researchers and medical doctors and dietitians and nutritionists and all of the types of people that we should be listening to on this. All of the professionals absolutely challenge that statement. But then his point about the media not catastrophizing obesity enough gets me right back onto his side. We are in the middle of a literal obesity epidemic among youth of all things here in America. If that's not a catastrophe, I don't know what is. If the overweight and obese populations are being so much more heavily affected by things like the pandemic because our immune systems are weaker, that is an absolute catastrophe. I don't know what else to call it.
At some point, acceptance becomes enabling. And if you're in any way participating in this joyful celebration of gluttony that goes on now, you have blood on your hands. Full stop.
I understand why this comment might be a little bit harsher and harder to accept, but honestly, where is the lie? Like, we all know that doing drugs is bad for you, and therefore we chastise anybody who glamorizes doing drugs. So likewise, we all know that being overweight is bad for you. So why are we not chastising people who are glorifying it?
And that's the saddest part. We can do this, I think. But by lying about it and making excuses, psychologically, it's telling ourselves that letting ourselves go is the best we can do. And I gotta believe that as Americans, we can still do better than that.
I gotta say, I am still agreeing with Bill on all of these points, especially this one. I think this one is a very valid point and very impactful. Our mindset about weight loss and staying healthy and whatnot is so incredibly important to us following up on those goals. And from the perspective of a person who struggles greatly with it, it's so easy to cling to any excuse as to why we can't, instead of taking accountability as to why we're in this problem. That's the thing that I really find the most aggravating about this entire fat acceptance movement, is the lack of accountability. Everything is the chair's fault, the doctor's fault, the clothes maker's fault. Everything is everybody's fault except for the one person who can't get their habits and eating in check. Spreading this message of fat acceptance and unhealthy habit acceptance, it's doing nothing to help the viewer. All it does is help the person who's pushing it out, because if they can get enough people to agree that their habits are good, then they don't have to change their habits. And ultimately, that's the goal, is they want to continue to be able to eat the way that they want to eat, and they want everyone to validate to them that it's okay. This whole movement really feels very culty to me. They prey on, people who are already sad and sort of pushed aside by society, pull them in, comfort them, tell them every single thing they want to hear, even to their detriment. Because as I said, you telling a young person that it is okay for them to continue to overeat until they are obese is literally life-threatening to them. And it's being done just to further your own wants, needs, and narratives that what you're doing isn't bad. That way you don't have to change.
And finally, new rule at next Thursday's debate. One of the candidates has to say, the problem with our healthcare system is Americans eat shit, and too much of it. All the candidates will talk about their health plans, but no one will mention the key factor. The citizens don't lift a finger to help. And then the candidates will go back on the trail the next day and try to prove they're just as big a gluttonous slob as the rest of us. Sometimes while discussing pre-existing conditions. But why do people have so many pre-existing conditions? Being fat isn't a birth defect. Nobody comes out of the womb needing to buy 2 seats on the airplane. Here it is in a nutshell from the New York Times. Poor diet is the leading cause of mortality in the United States. Everyone knows obesity is linked to terrible conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and virginity. Not to mention cancer. But that's just the beginning of it. There is literally nothing being overweight does not make worse. Eyesight, memory, pain, fatigue, depression. You don't poop right. It weakens your immune system. We scream at Congress to find a way to pay for our medical bills, but it wouldn't be nearly the issue it is if people just didn't eat like assholes.
Okay, again, y'all, everything he is saying here is conclusively proven by science. Like, where is the misinformation? Where is the fat shaming? Because all I see now is health enlightening.
Can fat be beautiful? That's in the eye of the beholder. But healthy? No, that's science. I know this is a controversial thing to say now in today's America, but being fat is a bad thing. We shouldn't taunt people about it, and overeating shouldn't be singled out as the only vice. It's not. We all have something. But there's no smoking acceptance or drunk acceptance. When I drank too much, yeah, sometimes someone would say to me, you know, that's not great for your health, Bill. Maybe you should slow down a little. You went kind of hard last night. And I would say, yeah, I know, I'm going to start next week, and then, of course, I wouldn't. But I didn't say, how dare you drink shame me? Being blotto is beautiful. Of course I didn't say that. I was focusing on the road. When did it become taboo in this country to talk about getting healthy? Weight Watchers had to literally take the words weight and watchers, I'm not kidding, out of their name. It's now WW, because merely the idea of watching your weight is now bullying.
Oh, Bill. Now, I know he said that scales comment as a joke. Oh my God, would he be mortified to see where we're at today, where that is literally the expectation. That is the request recently from obese people, is that we remove weight scales from schools, from nurses' office, from health practitioners, from doctors' offices. Like, that is... He fucking Simpsoned that one and he didn't even know, and he called the future on that one. Literally just the idea of watching your weight is considered bullying or promoting EDs. This is a lot of the fat acceptance movement, especially on TikTok, that I see, where they're encouraging parents and health practitioners in schools to encourage them to remove all sorts of, you know, calorie counting, weight watching, etc. from school curriculum, so that we're not even teaching children what it is to count calories, what it's like, how much a body needs, how much would be overdoing it. Like, they don't want any child to be made aware of the very real fact that as a human being, with availability of all the foods we have nowadays, we need to be counting calories and watching our weight so that we don't end up so obese that it is having negative health consequences for us. Being overweight is a bad thing. We shouldn't taunt people about it or single out overeating as the only bad habit, because it's not. But to say that it's a bad thing should be absolutely accepted. Once again, I gotta agree with that statement. Can you please, if you are in this fat acceptance, body positivity movement, explain to me down below, where is the misinformation? Where is the shaming? Where is the horrible hatred for fat people? I'm not seeing it. Can you point it out?
Hey, liberals, you know how you hate it when conservatives won't even let the CDC study gun violence as a public health issue? This is that. You're the NRA of mayonnaise. We have gone to this weird place where fat is good. It's pointing out that fat is unhealthy. That's what's bad. Fat shame? No, we fit shame. Really, you hear it all the time. Someone sees a merely trim person. You should eat something. No, you should not eat something. I should be more unhealthy so you can feel better about your fat ass? In August, 53 Americans died from mass shootings. Terrible, right? You know how many died from obesity? 40,000. Fat shaming doesn't need to end. It needs to make a comeback. Some amount of shame is good.
Now, yes, obviously fat shaming is pretty rampant online, but Bill, once again, has a pretty good point here. More and more so now, skinny shaming has become the thing. I see, again, all over TikTok, someone will post a random weight loss update or a whatever goal update, and there is the fat acceptance movement coming along to absolutely shit on them and tear them down for just setting goals, realizing what's reasonable goals for them, and accomplishing those goals. Like, since when is somebody bettering themselves, somebody setting goals and reaching those goals, a bad thing? This is such selfish behavior from the fat acceptance movement, where we need to tear down other people's ability to accomplish their goals. That way they don't have to feel bad for not setting or accomplishing theirs. Okay, personally, I've seen enough to come to the conclusion that, yes, I think Bill Maher is pretty fat phobic. I think he is afraid of gaining so much excess weight and fat onto his body that it causes him adverse health conditions. I think along that same point, I am very fat phobic. I am heart attack phobic. I am losing my toes to diabetes phobic. I am exaggerating my mental health struggles phobic. I am fat phobic. Bill Maher seems to be pretty fat phobic. And for some of these reasons and so many more, I think you should be fat phobic too. Now, I know this one's going to be a pretty controversial one, so please go ahead and leave your comments down below. Please share your opinions with anything that I've said here with me down below, even if you don't agree, especially if you don't agree. I would love to hear from you and see what your perspective on some of these things are. Anything that I've said or Bill said, anything that you'd just like to add, go ahead and add it down below. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up, also down below. Go ahead and subscribe while you're hanging out down there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.